Operation Dudula targets foreigners and demands only South African-owned spaza shops. Pope Francis calls for an international investigation into the Gaza genocide. And scoring off the field, 4 Springboks are nominated for the prestigious World Rugby Awards. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
A handwritten note makes it to the surface at the abandoned mine in Stilfontein in the Northwest Province, asking for medicine. The self-appointed rescue team has paused their mission to help the miners as the scorching sun takes its toll on the volunteers. It's been weeks since police and the army were deployed to parts of the province in the fight against illegal mining. The operation drew criticism around concerns that hundreds of illegal miners underground were starving and dehydrated after law enforcement cut off food and water supplies. National Assembly Speaker Toko Didiza says Operation Valumgodi at the Stilfontein mine presents a dilemma, where the government should enforce the law or protect the human rights of illegal miners.
How do you make sure that in the context of rights, there's also responsibility? So that it's not rights one way, but also it's responsibility in order to make sure that you do not trample the rights of others.
Blatant disregard for human life now in Tuzuma Magistrate Court today. The men are seen here terrorizing the Kwamashu hostel in Durban. The video shows them firing shots at the hostel. The group is linked to a string of violent crimes in the area, including 11 murder cases, 8 counts of attempted murder, 3 hijackings, 2 truck jackings, 2 house robberies and 2 armed robberies.
So we'll continue pursuing the rest of the gang that might be left behind with our investigations that have been done, and we hope that any other would-be a gang member will still be able to apprehend. And we're fortunate to find them in the area around Sundumbili when they were in the car. And through the investigation and interrogation, we discovered that they were on their way to go and kill someone and rob that person of his money. And fortunately, we were able to get them. So they're charged with being in possession of illegal firearms on that case as well. There's 3 of others that are part of this gang that were arrested in Johannesburg and also found in possession of illegal firearms. They're going to be brought down here to join these ones, these 6 that we have here.
Spaza shops for South Africans only. That's what Operation Dudula wants. They've been turning away foreign nationals trying to register their spaza shops with the municipalities. Its members are picketing outside municipal offices in Jabulani, Soweto. This comes after President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement that spaza shop owners have 21 days to register their shops to avoid closure.
Unfortunately, we have a president that chooses to prioritize foreign nationals over his own citizens. I mean, he's giving these people 21 days to go and fix their documents and get permits and all that when they have already broken the laws.
And says spaza shops are for South Africans only.
Basically, it's a demonstration that we no longer want these people. They can't even register. We don't want them to register their spaza shops. This space must be reserved for Africans.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has addressed the G20 Leaders Summit in Rio de Janeiro as Brazil wraps up its presidency of the global bloc. In the lead up to the official start of the summit, Ramaphosa has met with several leaders on the sidelines to discuss matters of trade and mutual interest. Today, he's delivered South Africa's statement on the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, as well as on the reform of global governance institutions.
In the end, as Her Excellency says, it is energy that drives growth, that drives economies. So renewable energy then gives us those opportunities.
South Africa is the only African country and one of 10 countries globally that has strategic partnerships with the EU. The summit ends as a new phase in the Ukraine-Russian war begins. The US has for the first time let Ukraine use US long-range missiles to strike Russia. It's a major change in US policy towards the invasion of Ukraine. US Ambassador to South Africa, Ruben Brigety, has announced his resignation. Brigety will vacate his position on January the 10th in accordance with standard procedure during a change of presidential administration. He says during his tenure, progress has been made in fostering the strong relationship between the United States and South Africa.
While he's thanked the country for its partnership, warmth and unwavering support during his tenure, in the 2 years he's been in South Africa, Ruben Brigety has not earned himself much favor. He became persona non grata following claims he made that this country, in the cloak of darkness, defied its own laws to provide arms to Russia. While the episode earned him the ire of many, along with calls for his removal, he stayed on. And as he prepares for his exit, Brigety says it's been an immense honor to foster the relationship between the US and South Africa. He says collaboration between the two countries have been impactful, listing progress made through AGOA, job creation, AIDS relief, and educational opportunities, among many others. Brigety also defined the cultural exchanges and increased understanding as equally enriching. The ambassador's resignation will take effect on the 10th of January. CD Madia, Eyewitness News.
Marching against radical hikes to the price of electricity.
I buy 500 rand units. Actually 1,000, I split it 500, which I get 140 odd units for that. How do they expect us to live with electricity? Or must I go back to the candles?
Cape Townians have criticised Eskom for expecting residents to pay more for an unreliable electricity supply. The power utility has applied to energy regulator NERSA for a 36% electricity tariff increase next year. NERSA has already granted Eskom a 4% increase to recover losses of 8 billion rand in the 2021-22 financial year. The energy regulator is holding public hearings into Eskom's application in Cape Town today. Pope Francis has for the first time tackled claims of Israel's ongoing genocide of Palestinians in Gaza in a forthcoming book. The Argentine pontiff has frequently deplored the number of victims of Israel's operations in Gaza, with a death toll of at least 43,000 people, most of them civilians. But his call for a probe marks the first time he's publicly used the term genocide in the context of Israeli military operations in the Palestinian territory. On Thursday, a United Nations Special Committee judged Israel's conduct of warfare in Gaza, quote, consistent with the characteristics of genocide, end quote, accusing the country of, quote, using starvation as a method of war. 3 Springbok players have been nominated for the biggest individual prize at the World Rugby Awards. Flank Pieter-Steph du Toit, lock Eben Etzebeth and wing Cheslin Colby are all contenders for the prestigious men's 15s Player of the Year prize, along with Island captain Kalen Doris. Fly half Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu is in line for the men's 15s Breakthrough Player of the Year award after a sterling first season in international rugby. The awards will be hosted in Monaco on Sunday, the 24th of November. See you for more tomorrow.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.